Alright guys, welcome everybody. I hope everybody's staying warm. I've got Double D from Turnage de Bois earworming today, and I'm planning on turning this small piece of oak and have a natural edge left. So I'll go ahead and get to the tailstock camera. And Double D, if you want to run through who's in the chat.
Sure can. No problem. You can hide me too if you want. So.
All right.
Today we have Tommy with Tommy's Workshop is in. We have Clive Rogerson, Douglas Mungham, Martin at Four King Owls, Gerard the French Turner, Blair at Good Turn Daily, Mike Midnight Joker, Pete Twisted Trees, Scott Tagg, Leona Fay has just joined, Terry with TJ Turning, and William Ellis have all joined. So welcome everybody, and hope you enjoy it.
Welcome, guys. So, if you guys didn't notice, I drilled a hole on the bark side to fit my stub center. That way I'm not just sitting on the bark. Go ahead and turn the speed up.
Martin asked if Harry got the chance to go out and make any snowmen or snow angels.
Yeah, he made a beaver angel. That'll be on a video at some point.
Awesome. He also said that Harry does look a little lovesick.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right.
And Felicity with Flicks Woodturning and Timber Creations has joined. Hey,
welcome,
Felicity. Radar the Woodturner and Chris Dodds have joined.
Now I'm turning at 800 RPM right now just because I want it to be pretty quick to avoid all the open air space.
Hope everybody is doing well today. Robert Dolman has joined. Greetings, Robert.
Welcome, Robert.
Lawrence Bugasia has joined. Hi, Lawrence. And Hodge, I know that Axe Abrasive Paste is having their craft fair type thing coming up. I'll put a link to that to their intro and stuff out in the chat. But do you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah. So Tom and Ann over at Axe Paste have gotten in contact with Ken Moon at Moon Pie Creations and myself and Ed at Wolf Ridge Woodturning, as well as Peggy at PF Woodturning, and we're all going to be doing an hour-long demonstration on next Saturday, the 27th. I think Ed starts at 2 p.m. Central, so 8 p.m. GMT, and then it'll be PF Woodturning followed by me, and then Ken Moon. And they're having some giveaways. They're giving away some of their paste, which will be available worldwide shipping. And then some of the other giveaways will be a couple of half-inch bowl gouges, some Starbond CA glue, and a t-shirt, I believe. It's all in that video that Daniel posted.
Awesome. Richard Phelan has also joined. And Hodge, if you can jump real quick over to StreamYard, Brad's ready to pop in. He just got available. If you can join, add him. Brad from Brad's Woodturning is going to be joining us for the earworming.
Oh, I'm gone now.
Welcome, Brad.
And Shannon Duca has joined. Hey, Shannon.
Hello, Shannon.
Todd.
Shannon.
Harry says hi.
There, Brad?
Is my sound and everything okay? Because I do got my heater running, so I don't want to be drowning you out with.
No, sounds good.
Okay,
yeah, I don't hear any heater.
What are we turning today?
I got a piece of oak, and I'll be doing a natural edge little bowl.
Nice.
Everybody, I'm also going to put a link out in the chat directly to Hodges. So if you want to schedule that to show up as a reminder, but that'll be Hodges' show for that axe process that we talked about. And I'll be earworming for that as well with him. So familiar crazy people talking in the background.
Just truing off the bottom so I can start forming a tenon once I get there.
And Clive wants to know, how green is that?
It's pretty dry, I think. It's probably as dry as it'll get here in Houston.
What do you consider dry in Houston? If I see something around 15%, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
So what fun things are everybody working on? I know Tommy was having a great time earlier this morning and cleaning up his workshop. So what else is everybody doing?
I can tell you, my kids are driving me nuts this morning. That's what woke me up in time to get out of here.
And people wonder why I don't have kids.
I'm going to add some pressure on the tailstock to keep it from spinning.
Tommy confirmed he is still cleaning up his workbench.
I think I've given up on having a clean shop.
Yeah?
Especially with wood turning. I mean, it's just... The shavings on the floor just add a little cushion for you, that's all.
That's true.
Yeah, you guys should... I try to keep the area that's on camera clean, but if y'all saw everything else, it's just a disaster.
I think that's pretty much everybody.
And Benjamin has joined.
Welcome,
Hey, Ben.
Ben.
Leona is looking intently for her missing mojo.
Shannon said that Todd is editing his flower challenge video, so that'd be that part 2. I'm kind of excited to see that.
Yeah, Blair said he's going doing his flower challenge on his live today. That's coming up
cool.
at
Yeah.
11 o'clock Central.
Daniel, if you want to throw a link into that.
Yeah, I was going to. I'm going to go check it. I will be, unfortunately, on the road. We have a lot of errands to run today, but I will... I'm definitely putting a link out here for everybody for Blair's Live.
So right now I'm just trying to refine the curve a little bit to incorporate the tenon that I'll be putting on. Right now the shape is a little too steep for my liking.
William Ellis said he's making stairs so his daughter's Chihuahua can get up and down off the bed. Sounds important. Clive Rogerson said this morning, I've been practicing thread chasing on PVC pipe. That sounds somewhat futile at times.
Let me check the tenon size right now. A little smaller. I get my point tool so I can define the shoulder.
Hey, what kind of... You got a collet on that point tool?
Yeah, it can come off. I bought this tool from a wood turner who was selling it at our local club. I don't know why.
That's
and
pretty
why
cool.
I guess he's got replaceable pieces, but I know Jimmy Clues sells these similar collets.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those can be a little pricey though.
Yeah.
Leona said she might start her pyro on her flower vase. And then she'll hollow it out when her Halloween tool arrives. So that'll be cool, Leona. Can't wait to see that. Felicity said she spent most of the day designing and preparing stickers for her new logo. So let me know when you get those done, Felicity, and we'll do a sticker swap for sure.
I'm going to switch to a new bowl gouge with a sharper cutting edge. Move my tool rest. Almost have all the flat sides cut off. I'm actually going to come in from the bark side in hopes to keep it intact and not have it break off.
Shannon says that Aurora says hello to Harry.
Harry says hello also.
We need to get him to start talking on camera. He's way too camera shy on these lives.
Yeah. Take a little bit more off.
Pete from Twisted Tree says, I haven't invented paper yet, so I can't make stickers. You'll get there, Pete. Typically, we find it best on when you invent the paper to make sure and have at least one captive ring with each sticker.
You know, speaking of captive ring, that's my project for today.
Yeah,
I'm going to try my first captive ring. I don't know if I'm going to do a vase or a goblet.
You gonna video it for your channel?
No. I really don't video much of what I do.
Well, I've never done one either. I don't understand them, but you know, I think sometimes they look cool, but I just don't understand them myself. So it's not something that really interests me. I know Pete's not a fan of them either, which is why I give him a hard time.
Well, I'm trying it. It's gonna be our anniversary, or my anniversary gift, not ours. I don't love you that much, Trent.
Aww.
Yeah.
Todd says you should do a goblet.
Goblet? Okay. I give it a shot.
And welcome, Todd.
Welcome, Todd. Just trying to clean up this outer curve. I'm not really happy with the overall shape. The side here is too steep. I'm gonna have to go against the grain just because my tail rest is in the way. And it's not on a worm screw or anything.
Brad, Pete has some advice there for you in the chat.
All right. 1, 2, cut the ring, cut 3. Honestly, I figured I'd make a very long stem, so I had plenty of opportunity to screw up.
Todd said he's pretty stoked to show us the flyer. Yeah, I'm really stoked about it because that was some pretty intense carving you did on that, Todd.
I'm just going to try to take one final finishing cut.
Felicity said she's done a few captive ring projects, 2 goblets with a double captive and a bud vase with a captive. That's cool.
At first, I thought about doing 7, trying to do 7 captive rings, but then I thought, Jesus, that's a lot for my first one.
Well, you know, if you're gonna go big, go Go big or go home, right?
Right.
Isn't that the Texas motto?
No, it's don't mess with Texas. That's a
I was close.
Don't worry about what we do.
Yeah.
William, I saw the video pop up for Andy Phillips' Knot Goblet. I have not gotten to watch it yet. I just seeing the picture made me kind of need to change my pants a little bit, just thinking about that. So that would be intimidating.
Andy Phillips Knot Goblet.
All right.
I
I'm
haven't
going to go ahead and put on my dust mask and do some sanding.
Steve Scott has joined. Hi, Steve.
Welcome, Steve.
And for those of you who haven't seen some of the YouTube cross-channel challenge videos, I do create a playlist each month on my channel, and then I have a comprehensive list of all the known participating channels on my YouTube channel. One of my favorites so far this month has been Felicity's at Flicks Woodturning and Timber Creations, and mainly because she had a surprise special guest that popped in on that. So if you haven't checked that out, go do so. It'll be a lot of fun for you.
How many people are in this thing now?
Right now we have 31 channels, and then there's 7 or 8 more that are just doing it through Instagram because they don't have channels.
Man, I was apologizing to people when there was 13 of us saying I probably won't be able to get to watch everybody's video.
No, that's why I created the playlist too, just because sometimes trying to go through and search everybody's channel can be difficult. I mean, I'm subbed to all of them just because I want to support them, of course, but that way I know I get them and then I add them to the playlist for an easy way to find them all.
What sanding grit do you think he started out with, D?
I'm going to guess he started out with 120.
120? I think that final pass was better.
Yeah, it's actually 120. So
oh, come on.
There's a little bit of tear out here on the unsupported area.
Yeah, Martin, I just put out the link for Flick's channel for that specific video. I was in the process of getting it when you asked, so that was a pretty fun project she did too, the sunflower from that Australian red ash. But it was definitely fun to watch for sure. There's a new person that just started turning during the pandemic. Also, Bad Apple Woodworks had his first premiere yesterday with his video. So that was fun to watch. He did a little bit of turning and some other crafting stuff. Did a Japanese hairpiece for his daughter. I'll grab a link to that one too to check it out. But he was his was a lot of fun too.
I think it was Jordan Woodworks. Right, he did the red. He did the dyed maple burl, make it look like a rosebud, right?
Yeah, Bruce did. Yeah.
So far, I love that.
Yeah, that's the thing, Shannon. I agree. There's just so much creativity, and that's one thing that I've really liked with doing this is just how different everybody gets with every single project is amazing to me. So. And Robin Steve live and uncut has joined. Welcome.
Welcome, Steve.
Yes, Tommy, I agree. He should have put it in his own hair. Tim has really long hair. That's Tim with Bad Apple Woodworks. He has really long hair. He also makes guitars, so he has a couple of channels. But that one was really fun.
What's his guitar channel?
He has a link to all of them in his about on the Bad Apple Woodworks.
I'll check that out. I'm interested in trying to make some guitars, or at least make some bodies.
So I think I'm only going to go up to 320.
Gerard really likes that sanding tool, Hodge. I know we talked about it a little bit last week, but I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it again real quick or.
Yeah, I mean, here in the States,
There's multiple sellers of it. This one's from Woodturner's Wonder. It's just a 3/8 angled electric drill, 3.8 amps.
That's the 55 degree, right?
Yeah. I know there's multiple places that sell it. I think it's all the same make, just a different sticker on it.
Cool. And Katie, the Cornish maid, has joined. Hi, Katie.
welcome, Katie.
So with you two being in Texas and you all not being used to the cold and ice and everything, how are you guys dealing with all that?
Well, we got power back yesterday, so
How many days without?
I'd call it just under 3, probably, or right at 3, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And we did have moments. We had moments where we'd have power for a little bit.
Yeah, it was literally so cold here in Kansas that I could go outside and it was warmer in our deep freeze than it was in my garage.
I had my my temperature gun when our power was out, measuring the kitchen temperature versus inside the fridge. That would decide whether I left the doors open or not.
Right. I know Hodge lost power for a couple of days. And then I think he said yesterday, mid-afternoon, they had a transformer blow.
Ooh, that's always gives you pretty lights.
Yeah. And the smell of roasted squirrel, if it's just right.
Honestly, I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, the first night sucked because, you know, we knew it was going to get cold, but nobody really believes the weather. Nobody does, you know.
Right.
But I woke up about 3 o'clock and I was cold. I'd already gotten kicked out to my recliner from my youngest daughter. And so I went and got my oldest daughter and stuck her in the bed with my wife, and they were fine as long as they were under the covers, you know. I think it got down to, at some point it got down below freezing in our house because our toilet froze.
Wow. William asked, do you have one of those $10,000 electric bills? William, I can tell you here in Kansas, my electric bill has never been over $200. And that's in the middle of a super hot summer.
We're about the same typically. We keep it at 78 during the peak of the summer, else we can't afford to have air conditioner otherwise, you know.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and clean this off with some denatured alcohol.
Hodge, Douglas is asking how much that sander was.
I think it was like $65.
Okay.
I don't know what that converts to in pounds, but.
So you were sanding, Hodge, but how's the cold impacted you up there?
You know, we were out of power for 2 days on Monday and Tuesday, but other than that, we didn't have any broken pipes or anything. So,
we do have busted pipes to fix down here.
I know one of our neighbors had a bunch of insulation and sheetrock out on their front yard, so they obviously had some water damage.
Blair was asking if Harry was chewing on power poles again. I don't know that he likes the creosote.
So I'll go ahead and switch to the tailstock.
I would think creosote would be really hard on beaver teeth. Could be wrong, but
I think I'm just going to finish this with oil once I'm finished. So I'll go ahead and reverse this now and put it.
Let me take off this dust mask. Knock out the stub center.
You know, I tell you what, having no power though did help me get some things I've been putting off knocked out. My dust collector went down probably 2 weeks ago. So while the power was out, I tore into that and figured that out and did some computer work, some design for the CNC. So, you know, it kind of worked out for me not having power for a few days.
Complain to the post office.
Yeah, right. Hopefully that comes out. That comes up to you soon.
Oh, I'm sure it will. I mean, with everything that happened there in the ice and snow through Texas and Oklahoma in between here in Kansas, I'm not surprised. I know it'll get here. Just might be in March or April. I figured that since it says it left the post office on the 13th. I figured they were walking it up here.
Well, whatever day I sent you that tracking number is the day it actually left, or the day I actually took it up there. So
yeah, it will. It'll get here. Jim's not too worried about it either. So,
how
Brad,
thin you doing, Hodge?
Brad is making and working on a process to start being able to make easy rests. So if people here in the U.S. are interested in an easy rest, myself and my buddy Jim at Garnered Wood on Instagram will be testing it out and giving feedback to Brad, and he might be able to start making some easy rests for people at a pretty reasonable price.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's do a little testing on them first. I don't want to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Making too many for people and then they don't really last.
I suppose I'll test a prototype if you want to make one for a 20-inch swing.
Woo! It'd be a big one. I really think about 16 is going to be about the max. I'm gonna feel comfortable with that maple.
I'll bet Todd would make you one, Hodge.
This shit. The ones Todd makes are awesome, man.
Yeah, that's I'm guessing a couple of days work on his part to get those made.
Yeah.
Steve Scott said he worked on power lines in the hurricane of '87, and some people didn't have power for 9 days. Yeah, that's just we had some ice storms come through Kansas a few years back, and I think my in-laws were without power for about that amount of time too. It was crazy scary.
Yeah, I was here in Houston during Hurricane Katrina, I think, and we were out of power for about 9 days in September. So I was sleeping outside on our balcony because it was too hot inside the house.
Katie has to go. Hopefully she'll be back in a bit. So thanks for coming.
Later.
Bye, Katie. Douglas Mungum said he snapped the post on his tool rest.
Oh,
how'd you do that, Douglas?
Had to be a hell of a catch. Didn't maybe it was an old video I watched from Rick Turns. He just had a tool post issue, I think. But it might have been an old video I watched of his. I don't know.
Yeah, Rick Turns usually has some interesting things happen when he turns. I'm going to go ahead and define an edge here, and hopefully the bark will stay intact. If not,
say,
oh well.
That's some good looking bark for oak. All my oak always looks all raggedy.
Yeah, my scariest moment was my parting tool snapping off in the middle of parting. That was not pleasant.
Okay, William says the Rick Turns thing was recent. It was a Techno tool post, I guess.
Wow. No catch, just doing light cuts and turning an elm bowl. A burl elm bowl. That's crazy.
Well, you know, it's kind of like when my band saw that shaft cave void. Sometimes you just got voids in the metal that just finally decide it's their time, I guess.
Yeah.
Something happens during manufacturing and
Scott Tigg said that we're having a heat wave, 22 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, that was last week for us, Scott. It's really sad when you get 16 days below freezing, and then yesterday we had a high of 34 degrees Fahrenheit, and it almost felt like I should go out in a light jacket.
I'm going to turn the speed up a little higher.
do you actually pay attention to what your RPMs are, or do you just kind of go with whatever feels right.
Yeah, I didn't have a readout on my old lathe, so I just go by kind of feel.
Yeah.
Right now I'm at 1200.
Wood Wizardry by Colin is in. Hi, Colin. Yeah, my first lathe just had the pulleys with 5 specific speeds, so I never paid attention to it. But now it's just I turn it on and turn it up until it starts wobbling, then I back it off just a little bit and go from there.
I'm gonna go a little thinner. I'm at about a little under half an inch right now wall thickness.
What was your first lathe, D?
I had the Harbor Freight benchtop lathe.
Okay, that was my first one too, and then I got the bigger one like 6 months later.
Yeah, I got my benchtop 4 years ago. I turned one thing on it and then never touched it again.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hit and I went out and started doing some stuff. And so that was May of last year I started. And so I started turning some stuff, and then I wasn't having good luck with the Harbor Freight tools. So I went out and bought some carbides, and my confidence level just shot through the roof when I got those carbides at the cleanliness of the cuts I was doing on the small stuff I did. And so I really started looking at doing some bigger stuff. Then I got that job from the Topeka Zoo that I did those finials for the Japanese Garden Bridge. And I had to get a bigger lathe for that. And so I upgraded, and then I started getting back into steel tools and have really improved with the steel tools now too. So I feel a lot better on both counts.
You know,
it was a great lathe to start for sure.
I got an order for an 18-inch Lazy Susan, and I told my wife I wish I had a bigger lathe so I could turn it. You know, because there's multiple ways it's gonna go. I'll just use a router.
Right.
But she looked at me for a second. I thought I had a chance. I thought I had a chance to convince her I needed a bigger lathe.
So close.
Looks like Hodge is going pretty thin on that on your wall thickness.
Yeah, it's a little under a quarter of an inch.
As I say, it looks right about a quarter. Steve said that in Scotland last week was minus 17 degrees Celsius, and in London today it's 16 degrees Celsius positive. Yeah, I understand that, Steve. Last week we had one day that was 25 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. Last week on, I want to say it was Thursday. And then on Tuesday, this upcoming week, it's going to be 61 degrees Fahrenheit. So, yeah, completely understand.
Shannon says, let me talk to her, Brad. She obviously doesn't get it. You know, she has gotten better. You know, when I first started down woodworking, like seriously woodworking, you know, more than with just a circular saw and a hammer. Because I'm cheap. I'll get by with as little as I can. But, you know, as long as I got the money for it, to buy a $300 or $400 tool now, she doesn't bat an eye at, which a few years ago, she would have thought I was crazy. So I think it'll take a few more years to get her in the $1,000 range.
Yeah, surprised when my wife let me get this one. I just kind of said like, so there's a lathe for sale. How much is it? $3,000. And she was like, what the hell?
It's hard to convince them that's a good deal for a used tool.
Yeah.
Hey, I got so I bought my Jet, and it was $1,900. And I sold my antique truck to compensate for it, to make sure that so it wasn't a big issue.
Hey,
Chris Dodd says that Brisbane, Australia is going to be 33 degrees Celsius today. That's going to be warm.
Yeah, it's their summertime right now, right?
Yeah.
Opposite of us.
Southern Hemisphere, yeah.
William Ellis, I'm lucky. My wife says if you want it, get it. Woo! That's a rare one. Keep her around. Keep her happy. You know, since I started having a shop account, it's made things a lot better. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, same for me. Steve Robbins has joined. He's in the workshop, so catching in. Hey, Steve, welcome. Yeah, I also do photography, so I started a photography business, I guess, 2 years ago. And so it's just been a matter of putting them all together, conglomerating them, and going that way. It makes it easier.
So
congrats on that 51 years, William. That's awesome.
Wow. Yeah, me and my wife were celebrating 7 years a few days from now. We got a date tonight. Tonight's our big date night.
That's awesome. Congrats, Brad.
Although we dated for 10 years.
Jigsy Shed is in. Hey, Jigsy.
Welcome, Jigsy. So I've pretty much gotten the wall thickness. I guess I need to go a little thinner here. The thing with the natural edge in this kind of shape, you can see the thickness the whole way, so you want to get it even. I need to get it a little thinner down at the base.
Thinner.
Pete says, my wife is happy with whatever I buy for the workshop. Keeps me out of her house. Leona says her first lathe was a Jet 1221 VS that she bought after her first woodturning lesson off the teacher. First time she'd ever tried and was hooked. Leona, is that the one that Steve has in his caravan now? Douglas Mungham is 43 years this August. Congrats, Douglas. My wife and I just had our 20th in this past August. I'm pretty sure that Sarah is up for some sort of award sticking with me that long.
How long did y'all date before you got married, D?
23 months to the day. We started dating September 26th of 1998 and got married August 26th of 2000.
2000. I was a freshman in high school.
Wow. I had long hair.
I was a sophomore in high school.
Wow, out of this trio, I knew we were relatively close in age, but I guess we aren't. Never mind. I'll just shut up now. Jigsy's having his 10th this March. Congrats. That's awesome. Yeah, Leone, I've been really happy with my Jet so far. I mean, I've only had it for, let's see, I got it first part of August, so I've had it for 6 months, but I've been really happy with it so far.
And you got, what, a 16-inch swing on that?
Yeah, it's a 1642 EV2, so it's the 240-volt setup.
See, I think if I had a 16-inch swing, I would be happy. But now that I have a 12-inch swing, I don't think I want to go 16. I think my next lathe is going to be a big boy lathe, or else I'm just going to stay with the cheap one for now.
Malcolm says they've been 53 years next month. Congrats. Tommy's not married. We've been together for 27 years. That's great.
Nothing wrong with that. I don't blame people for that, man.
Yeah. No, I'm happy with my 16. I can tell you that, but I'll be happier when I get it out, when I get the shop built and can get it out, because then I can turn off the end of the bed so I can go a lot bigger than that.
Yeah. The Harbor Freight one, they say you can move the headstock, but I'm kind of scared.
Yeah, the thing I've heard with the Harbor Freight is that sometimes it's hard to line them back up because they getting everything in line with the headstock, tailstock again can be frustrating.
That's why I don't turn pins.
I never turned on my Harbor Freight lathe with it rotated. It just seemed too shitty to do that.
Yep.
Lawrence, my wife told me if you buy more tools, I'll turn your head. I have to lock my workshop, so she couldn't do it.
I bought some of that in the Instagram chat. I showed y'all the Walmart resin, the Watco resin.
Yeah.
I bought some. I'm gonna try it out just to see, because anything you can sneak in on a grocery bill is
Right.
it's good to know if it's worth it.
Steve Robbins has been 36 years. Chris Dodd's married his wife in 77. That's a year after I was born. Radar's 23 years in May. Congrats. Gerard's 36 years last Monday. Leona's glad she's single because she can buy whatever she wants. It doesn't have to get any grief. Plus, you don't have to share your vodka. Felicity says, I bought my first lathe, a cheap Ryobi, over 25 years ago. Ended up giving it away. Always missed turning. And bought a cheap GMC lathe in 19, then upgraded to a Halfco soon after. Is that the one you're using currently, Felicity?
I got a question for the chat. How many people are YouTube taught on here? Because that's where I've pretty much learned everything, and meeting people on YouTube and asking them questions behind the scenes. I don't know anybody else in my town or in any town I've ever lived in that turned.
100% for me. Because I picked it up during the pandemic. So it's all been watching other people. Now, once the pandemic's clear, I'm hoping to spend some time with Jim and get a little hands-on, because he's really, really good with his cuts and stuff. So,
yeah, he's got a good eye. I have a lot of respect for people that don't do a lot of super fancy shapes, but their work still looks amazing.
Yeah.
That's kind of the route I want to go down, but I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah, and Wood Dude has joined. Greetings. Todd says he's YouTube and self-taught. Douglas Mungham is YouTube. Tommy's is YouTube.
Maybe one day I'll get down there to meet Hodge and he'll show me how to turn on a big boy lathe.
Maybe.
Clive has a couple of books, but mainly YouTube. Steve's 99% for him, but he works with two guys who got him into it.
All right. I think
it's looking good.
Leona had 3 lessons.
Yeah. I'm going to use a scraper to try to get rid of some ridges. There's some weird vibration going on. I don't know if it's because it's thin or what.
Yeah, I will tell you, probably one of the most interesting things I've watched lately was actually on Steve and Rob's live. They had Ruby Claire on and interviewed her, and that was just amazing to see her info, because she does phenomenal stuff.
Wow, Pete said he did a 2-year apprenticeship in wood turning. Don't think they had invented YouTube back then. I didn't even know they had a wood turning apprenticeship.
Yeah, Pete's over in the UK, I think. So.
Oh, see, they do a lot more of that. There's a flat worker guy, Matthew something, I think. I can't think of his name, but he talks about going to school for it, and they just don't really offer that here. I mean, I think it's around, but you really got to look for it.
Here is a link to that interview on the Rob and Steve show, and I would suggest you guys, if you can, subscribe to that channel. Just watch them. They do a lot of talking about different kinds of wood. They have a lot of fun talking about different projects and stuff. But Ruby Claire was on there, and that was an absolutely amazing interview. And for those of you who don't know her, she is a professional wood turner out of Canada and has been turning for a long time and is just a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, she does some crazy stuff.
Would she do like 13 balls within balls or something like that?
Yeah, the Chinese balls inside of balls.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was pretty crazy. I'm going to go ahead and put my dust mask on again. Excuse me.
Yeah, they do lives every Wednesday, if I remember correctly, at 4 p.m. Eastern time, because Rob Summerlin from Woodsley Summercraft is one of the co-hosts, along with Steve Twidell. But they do lives every week, and they actually just asked me to do some voiceovers for some of their segments, so that'll be a lot of fun. Todd wants to know where Harry's mask is.
I haven't made it yet.
You're going to get a Dusty Beaver.
He's fine.
Yeah. And James with Design and Make is in. Hi, James. Radar taught himself. Felicity did 2 years of wood turning in school. I never had the chance to do it in school. My dad had a lathe growing up, but I was always too young to see him use it. So, yeah, YouTube University for me, for sure.
I was just about to ask you, Hodge, if you use them foam pads much.
Yeah, this one isn't the right size, but to get inside the ball, I use it usually on the curve.
I need to get like 4 or 5 of those so I can just put the discs on and not have to change the pads out every time, because that just destroys that Velcro.
Yeah, I don't know where can't find my pad actually at the moment. Let's see.
Todd says live is just so much fun to sand.
Yeah.
Face palm. Brian at Heartwood Turning has joined. Hi, Brian.
Hello, Brian. I don't know about y'all, but I know in my shop, the thing that seems to disappear all the time is my chuck keys, because I can't find the one for this drill. I had to buy some off Amazon the other day.
You need your magnetic bowl right on top where Harry's at.
What did you say?
Magnetic bowls.
Oh, yeah.
Harbor Freight has some specials on those right now, don't they, Brad? Or is that over?
Oh, man. It's.
I thought it went through this month. They were like 28 cents a piece or something like that for the 4-inch bowls.
Yeah, but they're phasing out coupons at the same time. So.
Right. Here is a link. I'm going to throw the link out again to Blair's Daily that's coming up in just over 2 hours. He's going to do his YouTube cross-channel challenge flower project for February on the live. So make sure and check him out. Subscribe if you have not. Todd said he needs a wood magnet.
Yeah, let me know when you get one of those. I'll take one too.
Yeah, I need a board stretcher. So many times I cut something just a little too short.
I think Woodpeckers is working on a board stretcher.
Okay, good. Good.
Be about $3,000.
I remember when I first started right out of high school, when I was framing houses. Every time you get somebody new on the job, the first thing, I need you to go to the truck and get me a board stretcher and see how long it takes them to come back and say they can't find it.
I remember Skyhook. Skyhook was a popular one where I was. That and going up to the company man and getting a can of AIR.
Blinker fluid's always a fun one too, if you like messing with people.
A skew lesson. You mean that negative rake scraper that comes in every set?
Speaking of which, Blair over at Good Turn Daily, Blair sent me a skew because he had several, so he sent me one. So I guess I'm going to be trying a skew for the first time at some point when it's warm enough to get back out in the shop.
No, I used one a few times when I first got started, and all I had was my cheap Harbor Freight set, and I mean, I did okay for what I was doing. I only turned in a few months, but I don't like them. I never had any terrible catches or anything. I just don't do much spindle turning, so I don't. It doesn't get my juices flowing, you know.
William says, DD, my motto is measure once, cut twice, and it's still too short.
Dukas says we should do an all skew challenge. That's what I was thinking. If Will Makes Everything doesn't get his flower challenge in on time, I was going to suggest that for a penalty.
The downside, and I like the ideas that I like an all skew challenge and things like that, because that pushes me. But then how does somebody who doesn't use a lathe for their project, how does that person do a skew challenge? Do they make a skew out of wood? I mean, I guess it's up to them, but that would just be kind of interesting to see how they would interpret that.
Yeah.
Because it's Gabriel Dye. I think he's out of Brazil, is the one he doesn't do lathe work, but he's participating in the challenges. He did that Super Mario Brothers Fireball flower piece for the January challenge for fire that he burned and dyed with plants and stuff. Was really cool.
Well, see,
same thing. Yeah. Okay. Good point.
That's what I like about your challenge, and what I was scared of when you first started is right. It's not bogged down in a bunch of rules,
Right.
People can have fun with it. And like my February challenge is pretty loosely based on flowers. But it'll work. It's got the word flower in it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, because if you leave it open to interpretation, you're not saying, oh, you have to do this specific thing, or it has to do a resin project or what. Because some people don't have pressure pots, some people don't do resin, some people have different throw sizes over their bed of their lathe and things, and some people don't even have lathes. So if you have a theme or a quantity of wood like we talked about, it gives everybody that freedom to do what they want the way they want to do it. So lots of people using skews and things, so that's interesting. I will check that out, Steve. I'll check for some skew videos.
Duke says Brad turns a bowl and writes flower on the bottom. Hey, don't give it away.
No, did he write it on the bottom, or did he just put flower in the title of his YouTube video?
There you go.
The bark seems to be a little loose, so I'll probably put some CA eventually, but for now I'll just turn off the tinning and go from there.
Wood Dude says, as the Mandalorian would say, skew, this is the way.
You're not finishing that, Hodge? You're not going to put
I'm just going to put oil on it.
Okay.
So this will work as a jam chuck.
Mark, the gentleman woodturner, has joined. Hi, Mark.
Welcome, Mark.
Chris with Bailey Woodworks has joined. Hi, Chris. Welcome.
Welcome,
I've got
Chris.
to pay attention to Hodge here, because I've been doing a lot of tenons lately, but I haven't turned them off yet. I haven't gotten to that point.
So, whoops.
Uh-oh.
So there was the initial point is still there from when I turned it initially, so that's what makes it really easy to align. And it should be pretty true. Yeah, it looks pretty much spot on.
As I say, looks good from here. I'm going to throw a link out to your upcoming video on the 27th again for the Axe project, just so everybody's remembering that. Hodge will be live along with some of the other turners. Is Moon Pie Creations is one. Peggy from PF Turning is one. And there's one other one. Hodge, do you remember who that is?
I think his last name's Parker. It's Ed from Wolf Ridge Woodturning.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's there's going to be 4 people that do lives back to back. That's being sponsored by Axe Paste. They're abrasive and their finishing paste. But Hodge will be live on the 27th. There's a link to it, and that is at 4 p.m. Central Time. So please show up and support Hodge for that.
I think I'm going to leave a little small foot just for this to sit on.
Yeah, William says that watch Phil Anderson take tenons off. Yeah, I've seen how he does it. It's something I'm trying to get better.
I'm gonna switch to a smaller gouge. Actually, I'll use my spindle gouge.
The fill method doesn't work as well when your lathe only goes down to 600.
Right.
I'm at 700 right now.
Adam with I Love Woodturning is joined. Hi, Adam.
Welcome,
Adam had a fun live yesterday where he did some monkey wood platter. That was really nice.
Maybe I'll try to do the Phil Anderson method.
Let's do it.
You
for
got
the first
this.
time.
Always great to do something for the first time live.
Yeah.
No pressure.
I will tell you my least favorite way to remove a tenon is with a belt sander.
Yeah.
That's unpleasant.
Hey,
Very messy and takes years.
You got that Buck tool belt sander, right?
Yeah.
How you liking it?
I really like it. I'll like it better when I can get to it and don't have to duck under my hanging bicycles to get to it. So, but
Did it break?
No, I'm just checking. I had to clean off the little foot a little bit. It's a little raggedy.
Hodge, I know you appreciate good jokes. So Adam says, thanks. I was just monkeying around.
Harry liked that one. I could hear him chuckle a little bit.
Yeah. And Mike Yu has joined. Hi, Mike.
All right, so turn the lathe speed down a little bit and go a little smaller.
Moment of truth.
Actually, I need a different tool that's narrower. Hopefully
Like a skew?
Maybe. Yeah, I guess I'll switch to the skew.
Oh.
Called it.
Pressure towards the headstock. One hand on the switch.
Yeah, I'm still getting a little smaller.
Adam, yes, the hashtag is YTCCC2021. So you're perfect.
I just like how Phil always gives the same instructions, which means
I'm just going to
he's
throw out a
got
link to
the question.
forkandbananas.com website. That website, there is a calendar that Steve from Temple Boy Turnings, he's on here as Rob and Steve live and uncut right now. But he has a calendar where he maintains premieres and lives and things like that. So there is a calendar there. So it's just an easy place to go see what's going on and know what's happening in the world of wood turning and woodworking.
I'd say that was pretty successful, Hodge.
Yeah, that worked out pretty well. You can
Yeah.
see there's just a little bitty thing to sand off. You can see that nub still stuck here on the live center. So I'll go ahead and dust this thing off and put some oil on it. I usually use Mahoney's walnut oil.
Chris said his YouTube cross-channel challenge video is going up on Tuesday. That's awesome, Chris. Can't wait to see it.
Spread it around a bit with a paper towel.
Oh, this is the good part.
Seeing that grain pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's got some spalting. It's a little old. The bark's all intact, but I could see some spots that were a little loose. So, I mean, this is probably a practice piece that I'm not going to do anything with, so I don't think I'll deal with gluing it together or anything.
That's when you sit inside and throw your wallet and keys in.
Yeah. Looks like there's a bit of a crack here that the oil's already seeped through, but no biggie.
Just curious, because I've seen that walnut oil. How long does that really take to dry up?
I don't know. I just put it on and leave it for a while.
Yeah.
Pete says you should glue it before oiling it.
Yeah, that would make sense. if the bark comes off, I'm not gonna cry about it though. So
Bailey Woodwork says, Daniel, I'm at 499 subscribers. Let me grab your channel and I'll throw that in the link here, Chris. Congrats on that, by the way.
yeah, congratulations.
I am sitting just at 415 as of this morning myself. Here's the link to Chris's channel over at Bailey Woodworking, or Bailey Woodwork, sorry. He did a fun live the other day turning a piece of, what was it, Paduke? We were talking about the whole time we were talking about how orange everything was. The wood, tool rest, shirt. So yeah, definitely subscribe over to check out Bailey and Chris's channel and subscribe to him.
I really like how the inside of the bowl looks.
It's super shiny.
Yeah, I mean it's still wet, obviously, but I never liked the end grain of oak because it doesn't really, I don't know, doesn't turn out very nice looking. But the side grain looks good.
Yeah, it looks really good.
But I guess that was right at an hour, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Getting better at this.
DJ Brinkley's in, said it looks good. Hi, DJ.
Everybody's
liking it. Yeah, everybody's liking it. Yeah.
See how it looks on this camera. It doesn't really work. But yeah, all the bark remained intact, so that's pretty cool. There's a little tear out on the ends of the bark. But other than that, that is all I've got for today. I got a little bit of news now that Chris reminded me about 500 subs. My 500 bowl giveaway is dry now, so all I've got to do is some hand sanding since it's all warped. And I'll apply probably the same oil finish on that, but it's dry. There's a little bit of cracks like you'd expect in burl-ish wood.
Yeah, I call that the Van Gogh bowl just because of that graining at the bottom.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. I've got two.
Ben, are you talking about that bowl or the one he just did? He just said, really nice, Hodge. How did you turn it? Is there a video? So I don't know. I don't know if he's joking about the video today or if he's asking about this one specifically.
Yeah, there's a video for this. It's in most of my descriptions, not on my normal videos, but it's like labeled 500 subscriber giveaway bowl or something. It's got a picture of the bowl in the thumbnail.
You turned that one live too. That was one of your early lives.
It might have been the second or third live I did.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful for you guys watching. I'm going to go ahead and hit the button and end the broadcast. If you guys want, you can join in on Blair's live here in a couple of hours.
Yes, so please do.
I'll probably be there. I got a appointment in, I guess, at 11, so that might run a little long, but I'll jump in afterwards.
Yeah, I'll be driving in my truck, so it's hard to watch that way, but I'll catch it as soon as I get back home.
All right, guys.
Awesome, everybody. Thanks.
Thank all of you. See you later.
And yeah, have a good one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.